For the last couple of weeks, we've been talking with the command center in Boston and the lieutenant governor and the administration about having a possibility of a field hospital at UMass Dartmouth. There was some indication maybe Mass Maritime, but over the course of the time, realized because of its central location, UMass Dartmouth would be available. Over this past weekend, the command center saw fit that it might be necessary and began negotiations with the University of Massachusetts at Dartmouth, as well as MEMA and the National Guard and South Coast hospitals. As a result, they determined that they could have 140 beds and the gymnasium at the Trip Center at the university. And with that, it would be built up by the Mass Emergency Management Agency, known as MEMA, and they would build it out, and that's what's been going on now, and they should actually be completed today, which is Friday. And then South Coast hospitals will come in and fit the beds, the areas, and what we call the cubicles for medical purposes. And that will take place over the next 10 days or so. They believe they would be ready and operational as of April 27th. The facility would be secured on the outside by the university police, and inside the South Coast hospitals, security team would be there as well. And then people will be transported there from the hospital, where they don't necessarily need to have the care that a hospital gives, but they don't either for homelessness reasons or for other reasons. They cannot go back to their homes, or they can't really care for themselves. They'll end up at those types of facilities. So over the next few weeks and maybe a few months, you're going to hear testing, testing, testing. Testing is really necessary for us to reopen our community. The only way we can really determine who's been impacted is through this testing. We are very, very far behind in that as a nation for that. And I think we need to get ahead of that, and you'll see a lot more funding going towards that and a lot more focus going towards the testing. One, to make sure we have a good test for it, and two is that we can scale up to make sure that we can reach the community as a whole. Those testing, that testing process is going to allow us to have school get back into session, football games we can go to, basketball games we can go to, and have those crowded areas, because that's the only way we can really get back until the vaccine is developed. And we know from the experts that it's probably going to be more like 18 months to 2 years. While we are working on other medical treatments, the testing is going to be key to the opening of our community, as opposed to just figuring out for medical reasons. The testing has a huge economic benefit to us. I think that's indicated by most of the businesses want the testing done and have advocated that, both at the federal level and the state level. The chambers of commerce have been pushing for it. So I know we're really looking towards getting that done as quick as we can. So you'll be hearing a lot about testing, testing, and testing over the next 3 months or so. If everyone looks at the numbers and says, oh, we're doing really well, we're steady and we're flat in the curve, the only reason why the curve is flat is because we continue to distance ourselves. For the last 5 weeks now, we have distanced ourselves. That's the reason why those numbers are good. If we go back to what we were before, that number is going to peak. And what we are trying to do, again, with this social distancing, it's not to prevent everyone from having it over the course of 2 years. It's from everyone having it in a 2-month period. And that peak could just destroy our hospitals. A field hospital like UMass Dartmouth would not even come close to fulfilling its obligations of holding everyone there. That we would have people all over the place, and it would be truly, truly a disaster. So keeping our distance is huge. Wearing a mask in public, especially when you're shopping, going into a store, anything like that, make sure you're wearing a mask and see it as the foreseeable future. This is not going to end tomorrow, and it's not going to end next week, and it's not going to end next month. So we might as well start preparing for that. One of the concerns that, if you read the newspaper, is congregate living, whether it be a nursing home or public housing or in an apartment building. It's really essential to make sure we continue to have that social distancing, particularly family members who want to be with their elder. It's difficult, but it's necessary. That's the one thing you can do is to try to keep that distance. I know with my parents, my father suffers from some lung issues, and my mom isn't getting any younger, but we keep our distance. We'll go on the back porch. They'll sit on one side, we'll sit on the other. We'll drop off their groceries to the side door. So we're experiencing it as well, and I think everybody has to understand that that's probably the best thing. Once the elderly get it, if you look at the ages of the individuals who have passed away because of this, many of them, almost all of them, are in their 70s, 80s, and 90s. And that's why we really need to keep our distance from our elderly to make sure that we can get through this over the next few months. I think we're blessed in Dartmouth of having is a great community. I look at everybody contributing something along the way. And I say this is that there are hundreds of people who have donated thousands of hours to making masks, to trying to figure out solutions to issues that everybody has, whether it's delivery of foods for the seniors who can't get out and we don't want to get out, or whether it's providing through 3D masks, 3D printer masks, or just excess from a local business. Everyone has risen to the occasion. I think Dartmouth is truly blessed to be able to have all segments of the society to really deal with it. Manufacturers have come through, retailers have come through, public safety has come through, medical staff have come through, and we should be thankful for all of that. I think this is a time where we could actually just say thank you to each other. And I see that more and more on a daily basis, and I hope it can continue and really see a change in our political discourse to much degree because of this. So hopefully maybe that will change as well at both the federal and state and local levels.